Alright guys, I'm gonna be reacting to the making of episode of Last of Us. I watched the episode last night. I was gonna make a video reacting to the first episode, but I tried to record it on my computer and HBO was like, you cannot do that, girl. Blocked. I'm gonna share my opinions with you of this episode and what I think so far of the second season. I've played this game twice, so I know everything that happens, and also I've been hyper fixated on this since I was 13, so I know a little bit too much about the show. So I'm gonna react to this and I'll let you know my opinions on the first episode of the second season. Okay, let's see.
We had a sense that season 2 would somehow be a little bit...
Okay, right away, I love this first shot. This shot where they're following Ellie, I was like, this is everything.
Bigger? We did not...
This was everything. Oh my god. I think the last scene, really made it for me. I was like, this just looks gorgeous. It just looks gorgeous.
Anticipate the size until we were really into it. The drama is bigger.
Everyone's commenting about how Ellie didn't go up to Joel after that all happened. I think that will be shown at the very end, just like the game. I also think that they're gonna show the first half of the game in the second season, and then the third season is gonna be Abby's half of the game. So obviously we're still gonna get Ellie and Abby action in both seasons, but we know what our focus is.
The action is bigger, the stunts...
The stalker part was so crazy. Okay, we'll see more of that later.
And then we understood what we were doing was absolutely beyond...
Okay, I don't know how I felt about the sniper section. I like that they included it, but I expected it to be at a different point. For me, it kind of came out of nowhere, but I guess it does make sense, but yeah.
One.
Ellie has matured a lot from season 1.
Okay, and can we talk about this? Because I don't need your opinions on Bella Ramsey. I don't want to hear it. I need to say this right off the bat. All the men and the boys who are saying, oh, the chopped of us, da 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 da, she doesn't even look like Ellie, da da da, whatever. These are middle school boys, incels, middle-aged men who are mad that they're not attracted to a teenage lesbian. Girl, you need to relax. What are we going on about? Shut up. I'm sorry. If you're a man and you have an opinion about Bella Ramsey, I don't want to hear it. Next question.
I think season 1 she was very much...
Face card was giving in this episode. I was like, Bella Ramsey, you look so good. And you did so good. And all the stunt stuff was amazing. Love them.
Them. And so
I think the thing that people don't understand is they're not going to make the show and base everything off the way someone looks if the way that they look doesn't really matter to the show. Why does Ellie need to look exactly like this face model that doesn't even exist? Ellie is not even based on a real person or a real face. So I don't know why people get so caught up on it. It's if you understand acting, you know that Bella Ramsey just embodies this character. And I think I got really frustrated too because people were saying, oh, they're not going to be able to step up to the plate. They're not going to look like they're 19 and not going to be able to act a certain way. I'm Bella Ramsey is a phenomenal actor. And I think that they really even in this first episode, I can see that, we're going to get what we need from their performance.
Chain reaction has begun again.
Also, okay, I need to say something. I have an issue with how clean everything looks. Now, I totally understand. I give props to Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann because the turnaround for the show was so quick. And, obviously they already have this source material, but they have to, write the script in such a short amount of time. And, I feel there's a lot of pressure on them. So anything that I'm, critiquing, trust me, I, know where they're coming from. I've been on set. I know how that works. I know how rushed everything is and feels. But I think I do have a few issues with this first episode. I think I wasn't as engaged with the first half of it, but the next half with mainly Ellie and Dina, I really loved. One thing I had to say about this set and also just the costuming and the way that they look, I feel like they look too clean. Like when I see their hair, I'm like, my hair never looks that good, and I'm not even in a zombie apocalypse, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. And also just like, I don't know, like I guess they're in Jackson, they're in this commune, so it's gonna maybe look a little better. But even from the first season of the show, I've always felt that they looked like too clean. Like they don't really look like they're in an apocalypse. But that's one thing that I had to say.
It did strike me that everybody that survives an apocalypse has stuff that is traumatizing to them. They live in a world with actual monsters. Wouldn't a therapist be an actually valuable person?
Okay, I totally agree with Craig on this, but I just don't think that Joel would go to a therapist. Like if you really know the game, which obviously Craig Mazin knows the game, like I'm not saying that, but I feel like people understand that Joel is a very closed off person, and I feel like he wouldn't go to therapy unless someone was like, hey Joel, you need to go to therapy. And usually, like, if that person was Ellie and Ellie was like, Joel, you need to go to therapy, I feel like he would. But I feel like himself, I don't think he'd make himself go to therapy. And I wasn't like, the scene with the therapy, I mean, I didn't really get a lot from it. Like, I don't know.
Oh, yes, Joel would probably be sitting down to talk to a therapist. He's talking.
And I think having a therapist in Jackson, in the commune, I think that makes sense. But I think the thing that doesn't make sense is Joel being the person going to therapy. That man would not go to therapy. But, teach their own.
To her about the problem that he wants her to address, not the problem he needs to address. And Gail knows there's more to the story than Joel's.
And they'll bring up this later. I like how they connected her character to the character of Eugene, which we get told about in the game, but we never see. And we don't really have a lot of backstory on him besides he, like, smokes a lot of weed, basically.
Telling her. But she's run out of patience.
You shot and killed my husband. You killed Eugene.
Trying to do the right thing, and in his mind, there never was a choice to sacrifice.
Also, love that Joel and Dina have a relationship in this, and we're able to see that. I think that's a really cool dynamic, because I feel like in the game, honestly, I feel like he didn't really know a lot about Dina, so I think it's cool in the show that they have more of a relationship.
Something that he couldn't give up.
I saved her.
And I feel like in the game, this part was more impactful when he was talking to Tommy, and I feel like it made sense for him to talk to Tommy. Like, if he's gonna open up to anyone, I feel like it would be to Tommy or to Ellie.
To share right up.
I think some people didn't like that they opened up with Abby, but I honestly love that they opened up with her just so we can establish her character, and like Neil's about to say, like, we see who Joel has actually affected by, shooting everyone in the hospital. So I actually honestly like the way that they opened this, and I think it makes people aware, okay, something's gonna happen to Joel. Like, most of the people who've played the game already know this, so I honestly liked that.
Front.
And the
That
coins,
there
too.
were real people that were impacted by Joel's decisions and his actions. Who are they? And basically, what are they gonna do next?
You'll help me find him.
Yes. I'll help you find him.
This season is...
I'm excited to see more of Caitlin Deaver's acting as Abby. I think right now I'm not feeling... Like, I think she does have that energy in her to be more intimidating. Like, I think she already is a little bit. I think since we got such short scenes with her that it's kind of hard to see this part. But I'm hoping to see a more intimidating side start to come out, especially once we get... I feel like Joel dying, spoiler, but, we know that this is going to happen. I feel like that's going to happen in the next episode, so I think we'll be able to see just more of her intensity. And I'm
the consequence of violence.
Oh my god, y'all. Literally, why did I just get chills? Ellie and Dina's dynamic is just everything. I mean, Isabella as Dina is wow. Like, it's just perfect casting. And I think their chemistry together is just so magnetic. And I'm so excited to see more of them.
Came to pick you up.
Oh, you're on this run.
And I love how this in the game was like Jesse coming in and being like, why did you kiss my girl? Like, what? And I love her like coming at the door. Like, that's awesome.
Became a really interesting person that Ellie becomes infatuated with, and we see that throughout this episode.
Their tension is just like crazy, like just off the
Bex
charts.
admires it's someone that she likes. She doesn't quite know how to deal with it
Also,
because
I love how, well, I guess we're gonna see
it's Ellie
Kat.
and she's awkward and she's a teenager.
To Ellie, Dina.
I guess I didn't show her, but I love that we see again Kat, who's mentioned in the game, but we don't ever see her. So I think that's pretty cool.
There is this sort of untouchable, popular girl in town, and Ellie can never imagine Dina ever being
Hey
interested in her.
Shimmer! Also shout out Shimmer! Shout out!
At the beginning of episode 1, they're already besties. I think it's like similar humor, not lack of respect for authority, but it's like, okay, but show me why I should respect your authority. I'm not just gonna give it to you blindly.
She sort of has all
Also
of the...
I think I just love the three of them, like their dynamic. Like Ellie, Dina, and Jesse. Love all their actors. I love the way they're playing them. I think specifically that scene where they were about to go out on patrol. That was awesome.
qualities that Ellie doesn't. Dina's very logical and very type A.
Also, love that they had to climb on the truck. That was so funny. I don't know. It's just like when you play the game, I was like, yeah, climb on that truck. Bro.
Braun and Dina's the brains. I think they sort of go together really well in that sense.
This makes them such a great duo. They really balance each other
This part was so cute.
out.
The infected are obviously a big part
Also,
of the show.
I love that they had a stealth kill just like right away. That was awesome. And the bottle throwing too. Love it.
What we wanted was to show a kind of evolution.
I thought it was super interesting that they started with the stalker. I think that was really smart because, we already know about the clickers and runners. And I think this was an interesting way of introducing, okay, there's new zombies here. There's different types of zombies in this world. And, we have a lot of different ones in The Last of Us 2. Like, there's an insane amount. So I'm glad that they started with this. Obviously, in the game, this is the supermarket scene. Dina's in there. And it's a whole bunch of infected. But I think this was a really interesting way of introducing a new type of zombie.
She has the benefit of being
Sorry,
new,
that takedown was crazy.
but I think she's just really thrown.
This shit was beautiful. This made the whole episode. Like, I wasn't really, like, again, like I said, the first half of the episode really wasn't my cup of tea. But, this part was so good.
As much as I can try and direct and pick angles, so much of it comes down to casting.
Everyone was just really wanting to make it beautiful. And I think that's how it turned out.
Sparks were flying,
Damn.
sort of felt iconic and, in a way, magical.
And then for that moment to be broken by Seth.
Fuck you, Seth. I'm not accepting your bigot sandwiches, you cunt.
Family event.
In his own way is watching out for this community and feels like this is inappropriate for what's happening. And then for that moment to be broken with violence by Joel.
Can we talk about that push? Because that was crazy. Like, he pushed him so hard, and then he, like, looks over at Ellie and has these puppy dog eyes. Like, oh my gosh. Like, what a switch up.
And then to really see
And their
how
reaction
much
was
at odds
everything.
these characters are.
I don't need your fucking help.
They're not at all where we left them in season 1.
He just looks so hurt.
And Ellie not only yells at Joel for stepping in because she just wants to be her own person, she does not want to be protected by him anymore. She inadvertently humiliates him in front of the whole town. The story is going to be about perspective. Who the heroes are and who the villains are is based on where you're standing.
Also, the one other thing I want to talk about, and we'll go on a frame of Dina and Ellie. One other thing I want to talk about, I was seeing people say that they don't look like they're 19. They don't look like they're the age of their characters. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I know you guys are used to watching like Euphoria and what else? Riverdale. And mind you, those TV shows have actors that are like 25 to 30 years old playing teenagers. These are what actual teenagers look like. Like, I hate to break it to you. And also, they're like the same age as these characters. Let's search up. Bella Ramsey, age. Oh, 21 years old. They don't look old enough. Girl, shut up. And then it was Isabella. Hey, girl. What's your age? 23. Like, come on, guys. Let's be real for a second. Also, another thing, again, people had comments about Abby's casting. I kind of do agree with, not liking that she's not buff, but I think that's just because it has to do with her character. Like, I think when it comes to appearance, it doesn't matter unless it, says something about the character. And I think Abby's buffness kind of just shows that she, trained to get so big so that she could, kill Joel. It's really not the biggest deal in the world, but I also think that she was probably cast because of the size of Bella Ramsey. I think Bella Ramsey is pretty small. I'll search up how tall they are. Height. Yeah, 5'1". So obviously Bella Ramsey is pretty small, so I feel like it makes sense to not have someone so much more massive than her. Like, that would be... Like, Abby's already scary. Like, if she was just, so much bigger than her, I don't think it would work as well, if that makes sense. So I think that, these characters work. Let me see. Caitlin Deaver. Search up your height. 5'3". So she's, slightly taller than her. But yeah, I feel like with how small Bella Ramsey is, I feel like it makes sense to not have Abby be this, massive person, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's my opinion on the first episode. I'm really excited to see where it goes and what they include. I think so far I've been more impressed with the dynamic between Ellie and Dina. I feel like the whole show I haven't been very convinced about Joel's character, and I don't necessarily think it has to do with Pedro Pascal's acting at all, because obviously he's a phenomenal actor. I think it has to do more with the writing, especially in the therapy scene and certain scenes in the first episode. I don't know, some of it just doesn't feel very, game canon Joel. But I think Ellie and Dina's characters are great. Jesse, I think, is great. But overall, I think it's looking pretty good. Alright guys, that's going to be the end of the video. Hopefully I'll see you later. Let me know what you guys thought of the first episode of The Last of Us Season 2, and I'll see you later. Bye!